You can go from 0 to employed pilot in 9 months. No education, no experience, no flying whatsoever. Go through all the training, get everything done, and be employable in 9 months. But in order to pull that off, you need to have the money up front, $75,000 to go from 0 to CFI. The reason why you want to get to employed as soon as possible, that's like your time building tree. And flight training is planting that tree. And so when you have that tree planted, that's when you reap what you sow. The fruits of your labor are the hours that get to go into your logbook. But in order to get to the time building phase, you got to have that money. And if you don't have that cash laying around, well, you got to come up with it. What a lot of people do is take out a loan. Sometimes the loan's not an option, so the next best thing is pay as you go for flight training. But do you know how many years it would take you to get to an employed pilot if you're going to pay as you go? So for me, that was take out a loan. Coming up on 2 years ago, I went to a 141 school. I applied for a loan, $125,000. They gave me a loan offer. I looked at the monthly payment. It was too big. $1,800 a month. I was not comfortable with that monthly payment. And so I declined it, and I had to come up with something else. What I came up with was getting my private pilot's license, pay cash for that, and then I could go and finance a smaller loan for the rest of flight training. Well, here I am 2 years later, and I wanted to get a smaller loan. I was looking at a $60,000 loan, and I figured that would get me through the rest of training to a spot where I would be employable. And I figured $60,000 loan, you know, it's half the size of the last loan I applied for. And so I'm starting to wrap my head around, crossing my fingers, like maybe a monthly payment of $700 or something. And that'll get me a flight school loan. And then I can be a professional pilot. Yeah, the loan did not come together the way I had hoped. I got the offer. Well, first the loan provider would not do a $60,000 loan. They said a minimum of $75,000. What the hell are you talking about? So anyways, we changed my application to $75,000, and they gave me the terms on the loan. It's a $2,000 monthly payment. It's worse than the last loan. So 2 years, have not made any progress on the financing situation. I am a private pilot, but unable to finance the rest of training at this point in time. And there's this sense of urgency because I want to have my tree planted. I want to be building time. And I'm not building time, I'm stagnant. So anyways, I started just kind of, I just turned down this loan a couple weeks ago. And so now I'm trying to figure out the next steps. And what I determined is, what's it going to look like if I pay as I go for flight training? What is that going to look like? The loan is not an option. That means I have to pay as I go. If you're doing, all right, so if you're doing $75,000 to get to an employable spot, let's say you have minimum money available, and so you do $250 a month. That's going to take you 25 years if you're doing $250 a month. You know, that's completely unreasonable. This 25 years before you get to be a CFI, and so that's ridiculous. You know, where I'm at right now, I can do $1,000 a month in extra kind of spending money to put towards flight training. So that would be 75 months. 75 months, that's, 6 years and 3 months. if you pay as you go for flight training, it'll be 6 years before you're a CFI and 6 years before your time building tree is planted in the ground. My situation, I have, I have a private pilot's license. I know I can get employable with $45,000. And so that's, 45 months theoretically. So I'm looking at whatever, 3 years and 8 months to be a CFI. And so I'm just thinking to myself, the question I'm asking myself, can I live the life I'm living right now every day for the next almost 4 years? Yeah, well, my day jobs are not fulfilling. They're not enjoyable. I don't want to be doing them. So for me, that's going to be a no for me, dog. This is not 4 years to get my time building tree planted in the ground. I don't know. It's just, I don't, yeah. So pay as you go. Not, not ideal. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. If I can't accept 4 years grinding away in the life that I'm living now, then I need to change it. Change the things you cannot accept. And I'm problem solving right now. I'm trying to figure out what those changes are. I can't come up with a solution right now. I have a couple of shots in the dark I'm gonna aim at, and we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if anything comes of them. But yeah, right now the future is bleak. But if you on the other hand, accept the things you cannot change. So that's what the last few weeks have been about, is acceptance. I was so determined to get done with this thing like as soon as possible. Like, I left my last career, I dropped everything, and I thought I could get somewhere, in a couple years. And I'm not really, I'm just not on that pace. It's a really long-term kind of marathon thing, and all of the content I've been absorbing is like, get it done as fast and as quick as possible. So I'm watching all the videos, reading all the content, figuring out how I can go 0 to hero in 18 months or whatever the hell. Yeah, and I don't know. Should I accept that that's not realistic? I was just talking to a couple last night, regulars at my restaurant, and they have been asking me about flight training, for months now, and they just brought it up last night, and I told them the situation that I'm telling you right now. I made some comment like, I need to be a pilot now. I can't wait. And Margaret looks at me and she's like, you have to be patient, Mitchell. They're an old couple, over 70, I imagine, maybe closer to 80. And, it's nice to have a little perspective, because the anxiety that I feel is due to this sense of urgency, like it needs to be done now. And it's not, that's not really what it's about. The urgency is to get the tree planted as soon as possible, right? Because over the next 50 years, it's going to matter if I plant it now or I plant it in 10 years. That difference is going to be so noticeable in the future. You know, realistically, it doesn't matter if I'm 35 or I'm 45 when I become a professional pilot, but I just am so determined to get the tree planted so it can start growing, you know? I feel completely stagnant at the moment. I don't know what the hell I can do to move in the direction I'm trying to move in. And that's really what's getting me down. So that just makes me think, maybe there's I don't know, maybe there's a hidden blessing in this situation at hand. At least I'm looking for I'm looking for one. If I can't move forward in flying in hours, what are the other ways I can move forward? There has to be ways. There's more to being a professional pilot than just flying a plane, you know. So I can build my network, I can build my mechanical knowledge and aptitude, I can meet people, and I can develop myself professionally in some ways. There's got to be ways, you know. I just need to keep my eyes open for them. One thing that is for sure moving forward, resilience will be paramount. The one thing that's really kind of just tripping me up right now when I think about, you know, Margaret's advice, be patient, Mitchell. Of course it's important to be patient, but what's the difference between being patient and letting life pass you by?